Minecraft Steve was added to Super Smash Bros. On October 13th, 2020. But nobody's added Super Smash Bros. To Minecraft, right? Alright, so apparently Phoenix SC kind of did it, but I have a totally different approach in mind. And of course, we aren't going to use any stinking data packs, so sit back, relax, and enjoy Avid Adventures episode 14. And fun fact, the like and subscribe buttons are actually ticklish and they love being tickled, so tickle them, click them right now. For those of you who don't know, this is the arena on the Avid Adventures server. And the way it works is pretty simple. Players can use currency that they earn from beating quests to buy an arena token. They can then select which team they're on, which is more important for PvP. They can pick from one of the basic loadouts, and when they're ready, they can press this start button here and fight the monster or players of their choice. Do I get it? Yay! And while this all does sound really cool, the arena is basically dead content. And instead of blaming myself for not finishing the arena, because that would be the responsible thing to do, no, I'm gonna blame Minecraft, because you know what? I'm gonna say it, Minecraft PvP is super lame. And you know who doesn't have super lame PvP content? Super Smash Bros. But wait, how am I gonna get Super Smash Bros. Into Minecraft? So it wasn't going to be easy, that was pretty clear. So we needed to really figure out what are the core mechanics that make Smash Smash. For instance, Smash has a damage-driven knockback system that increases the amount a player is flung based on how much damage they've taken. Kind of sounds like knockback and punch if you're picking up what I'm putting down. And in Smash, the goal is to knock players off of the stage in order to reduce their lives to 0. That means we're going to have to keep track of player lives as well as make a giant explosion when they fall off the stage. And of course, we can't forget about double jump velocity cancellation, custom items that fall from the sky, and the stage I want to emulate is a real tough one, Pokemon Stadium. You know, the one that dynamically changes? Am I seriously gonna do all this? Yes, Avid. Yes, you are. Or we are. And once we're done, I want to get a whole bunch of my friends on this server to play a Smash tournament. But before we do that, we probably should check out the state of the current command room. Now, I'll be honest, I'm a little nervous because this was my first command block project ever. And, oh boy, why are there so many repeaters? Ah, I see. Pumpkin equals to do. Oh, and there's a second floor. What could this... So give me a moment here and we'll be right back. The very first thing I did was dump a whole bunch of sand on my command block room. So great job there, Avid. But once that was all cleaned up, I turned the room into my usual quartz and I lit it up. Then I started working on a secondary room that was going to be much, much larger. The room itself was going to be too big for a single fill command, so I decided to use an armor stand to drill all the way down to the void. And one of my favorite things when building these giant holes is seeing how the lava and waterfalls interact with each other. I mean, we basically have a naturally formed spiral staircase here, so I figured I just had to get a cool shot of it. Once the hole was dug, I needed to smash my face into the wall in order to make an artsy and interesting transition. Fun fact. Then I grabbed a structure block, went down below, and copied the existing sand arena in preparations for making our Pokemon Stadium arena. But I didn't want to copy over the corners, so I used a block, in this case a redstone block, and then swapped those out for structure voids, and this is nothing like how the final arena will end up looking. There is something so satisfying about digging a giant quartz hole for all of our structures to go. And of course, I also quartzed out our command block room just back here. I know the quartz doesn't provide any functional difference, but it makes the room feel cleaner so that we can start to get rid of whatever the heck this thing is supposed to do behind me. And talking about functional things, it's about time we start working on our board, and specifically, I want to start on the double jump. Now, believe it or not, double jump mechanics in vanilla Minecraft are super tricky to implement, mainly because there's no direct way to impart a velocity on the player like I did with this slime block launcher. Wait, could we use ghost pistons? No, 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 no. We're not going to go down that path again. But I did do some research and pinged my Discord and came up with 3 possible options for double jump mechanics. We're going to try out all 3 and see which one is the best for our Super Smash clone. In an ideal scenario, a player would double jump by pressing the jump button twice, kind of like how we get into fly mode in creative. But remember, this is Minecraft commands. There are no ideal scenarios. But we can detect if the player is in the air if the block directly beneath the player is an air block. And using scoreboards, we can detect if the player is crouching by using a couple of those handy commands that I just put on the screen. All right, I'm excited to try this. So all I have to do is jump and then yes! You know, it's not as snappy as I would like, but it kind of reminds me of Fox and Falco's rocket boots in the way that they have to charge up before they launch the player. Yeah, that's kind of cool. So this next idea actually relies on the fact that shulker entities can be stood on like full blocks. And it's kind of awesome. And while I think this mechanic is really awesome, I don't think it fits in with this Smash theme. Okay, so before we get into the final idea, which I am super excited to try, I have come up with a 4th option that I really want to try out first, and I call it Cowmageddon. It relies on entity cramming to impart a velocity on the player. So now with enough entities, I should be able to... Oh, that's not working. Oh no, come back. No, 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 okay. Surely it'll work with chickens. This was a horrible idea, and I should be ashamed of myself. Okay, let's do something serious for a second here. Twixie from my Discord came up with this really cool idea. If you summon in a creeper with a negative explosion radius, crazy enough, it will actually launch the player, but it won't hurt the player or damage the environment. Look, I'll switch into adventure mode. Okay. Oh boy. As I was saying, it won't damage the environment, which is exactly what I'm looking for. So if I were to summon those creepers, say when I double jump, I am launched into the atmosphere. Okay, clearly we need some tuning, but this could actually work. Okay, so after a little bit of tweaking, what I do now is I tag the player when they get launched by the creeper so that they're on a cooldown. And when the player hits the ground, that cooldown is removed. That way, see, I'm twerking in the air and it's not launching me into infinity, which is a little sad, but that is how it should work. So which of these 4 options am I gonna pick? I think I'm gonna go with 2, levitation and creepers. That way players can pick which double jump mechanic they want, which is, so with our double jump system all complete, we now need to work on exploding players when they fall out of bounds. And in order to do that, we first need to know what our bounds are. So this red wool here is going to be where our stage is gonna go. And if players are thrown anywhere past this red sandstone wall, they are going to blow up and lose a life. But if players fall beneath the stage, we need to blow them up too. Now it's pretty tricky to check if a player is gonna fall outside of this oval. However, we can represent this oval as 2 circles, and look at that, it basically approximates the inner part of the arena. So now all I have to do is check to see if I'm outside of both of those circles, and if I am, boom! And since I'm using distance measurements, that means we're not actually checking if players are in a circle, we're checking if players are in a sphere. So here we can actually visualize the entire hitbox of our arena. And if I dig the hole deep enough, I can detect if the player falls above or below the arena using just the spheres. As for the explosion effect, do you know what happens when you mix an explosion noise with dolphin death, blaze death, trident lightning, and wither? Sounds something like this. All right, so putting it all together now, I should be able to jump out of this arena and see my lives go from 3 to 2 and see that awesome explosion. God, I'm dying forever. Why? Oh, the needs redstone switch gets me every single time. But now I think, yes, we have negative 57 lives, but otherwise things are working properly. And with all the easy problems out of the way, it's now time to talk about one of the hardest problems in this whole project, damage-based velocity. My goal is to always come up with the simplest and possibly most Minecrafty solution to all of these command block problems. And so what you can see behind me are 5 armor stands at different damage amounts. And in my inventory, I have 5 swords at different knockback amounts. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to give players a knockback sword based on the damage of the nearest player. So as you can see, as I'm approaching players with higher damage, I'm getting knockback swords with greater and greater knockback enchantment levels. As for keeping track of how much damage the player's taken, guess what? Players aren't going to be taking damage during this game. You see, players are going to have saturation 6 and resistance 6 so that they never lose any hearts. Instead, I'm going to use a scoreboard to keep track of the damage that has been resisted by the player, which means I can now do crazy stuff like this where a Ravager eats my face and all that happens is my damage counter goes up. Okay, so it's actually been about a day since my last clip because I had to do a whole bunch of coding and testing off camera. So I grabbed a couple of my homeboys. It's not like I have real friends. I just have lots of Minecraft accounts. But you probably recognize these two fellas if you've been following my channel, and they are going to help me demonstrate damage-based knockback. Players can now choose between the blast jump or the float jump, as well as they can choose between 2 classes, Ranger or Melee. And the cool thing that I figured out is I can actually use a predicate. I know, it's a data pack, but trust me, it's one of my exceptions. Go check out episode 10. And based on the team I'm looking at, that changes the weapon that's in my main hand. And so what's awesome about this is as players beat each other up, when they hit certain thresholds, they get switched over, there we go, to the red team. And then there's one more level after that, which is the dark red team. So yeah, you're ready to fly, buddy. That's never gonna get old. And so that means damage-based velocity is done, and now it's time to start on the custom items. But before we do, I can't help but feel like the arena needs a facelift, like a massive facelift. 1, in order to fit the Pokemon Stadium theme, but 2, it just doesn't contrast well with the environment at all. And as much as I like Diorite, Diorite's just not working for us here. Not to mention, we also need to get all of these commands down into our command block room, which, speaking of our command block room, none of these commands are staying. It's all gotta go. Oh, I'm gonna be sick. Okay, you know what? Let's just jump right into the time lapse right now. So I started by painstakingly copying every single command by hand from the Sandy Arena down to our command block room below. And it's looking pretty good. And then it was time to start on the arena itself. And my goal was to make it pop and contrast with the environment. So I picked a bunch of reds like granite and brick, and I tried to integrate foliage wherever I could to just give these little bits of color and juxtapose the arena against the environment. Once I started getting a handle for the palette, I just went to work on the exterior of the arena, and I was really playing around with gradients and texturing, and I feel like it all finally came together when I added these sandstone walls. Look at that, they look like little ribs. Oh, it looks so good. Once the exterior was done, it was now time to start on the interior, and more specifically the pit, which I wanted to make look really deep by using that texture gradient. Then I added a bunch of foliage on the interior, and you guys, this turned out perfectly. 4 hours later, and we have a beautified, contrasty arena that I am super proud of, you guys. Honestly, the exterior might not even be my favorite part. I think the interior might take the cake. I mean, look at this pit. It's gonna be so cool when we put a Pokemon Stadium arena in the middle, and we're gonna have to deal with the climbers and the mobs. But before we do that, it's time to get back to custom items. So my first custom item I'm going to call the Snowball Bomb. And the way it works is super simple. I have an armor stand that teleports to any snowball entities in this area. And when the snowball breaks, the armor stand spawns in a creeper, and that should push the player off of the platform. Perfect. The next item on my list is this tiny little landmine here, which when you place it down and a player steps on top of it, you know that tomato in Super Smash Bros. That heals you? This potion is kind of like that. So it'll reduce about 100 damage until you hit 0, and then it won't bring it down any further. If you want to see all 16 custom items, stick around to the end of the video because I'm going to play this with a whole bunch of my friends and I can't wait. And speaking of my friends, they're going to be here in like under an hour, and the arena is nowhere close to being ready, so we're gonna have to work super fast to finish these last few things. Now, I came up with a way for players to select their class, the way of the archer and the way of the warrior, and also they can select their jump type here. And if you notice, I added a new jump type. Now, all of these jump types can actually be tested around the bounds of the arena, which is pretty fun. And this new one is called Instant Transmission, which it teleports the player to about 10 blocks away from where they're looking. All right, I'm getting distracted and we're running out of time. So what I'm gonna do is place down armor stands that indicate where items can randomly be spawned. And then with a little finesse, items should, what I meant to say was, and with a little finesse, here are our random item spawns. Let's see what comes out. Ooh, we got a chilling rod and a health potion. Very nice. And so that means one more objective is down and one massive objective remains. Should we time lapse? Yeah, you know what? Let's time lapse. With just under an hour to go, the pressure was on to get this build done. And as you can see, I started to build all of the different stages of Pokemon Stadium from the Nintendo Switch version. And I am super proud of how they turned out, except for this windmill. Let's not talk about the windmill. Oh God, look at it. But here are all 4 stages. I'm so proud of it. Okay, so I have like 5 minutes till my friends are here. I have no idea why I cut this close. But anyways, I really quickly want to show you what the stage transformation looks like. So this button here should pick a random stage. Look at how cool that is. And the sound I picked was the anvil use sound. So it almost sounds like the stage is being built. Do you want to see one more? Of course you want to see one more. So as you can see, the stage actually builds out progressively. And the way I'm doing that is I'm using the integrity value of the place command. So there I was looking at my clock, waiting for my wonderful friends to arrive. Boy, were they gonna be excited to play this arena. Right? All right, everybody, my friends are here just in time to help me finish the arena, right, guys? You said you'd promise you'd help me finish, so yay! Yeah, here we go!
Yeah.
When did we promise
That's
that?
what we signed up for.
Yeah.
So they didn't seem too excited to get put to work right away, but it's not like I was gonna let them use the arena for free. Yeah, that's more like it.
Smash Bros. Yeah.
You know, there is something so amazing about working with such talented Minecrafters. I mean, look at this scoreboard. It actually displays the active stage. It was all fun and games, testing out the different types of jumps until, of course, Devin got stuck under the payment kiosk.
No.
No. And of course, everybody made a big stink when I asked them to pay a little bit just to play the arena. Okay, so we have to pay this guy. Does anybody have any money?
So first it was, you want to play some Smash Bros. Oh, all right, actually, you should build something for me. And now it's, we should play Smash Bros. Oh, by the way, does anybody have any money?
Yeah, guess who ended up footing the bill? You know, there's nothing worse than splitting a bill with friends at a restaurant. But you know what? Let's just forget about that. Avid Smash tourney. You're gonna love it. Just keep watching. And the first game was Trog versus Devin. Ooh, the arena's already changing up to water.
Immediately.
Right away. 135 damage. Oh no. Oh, that was a good save by Trog though. Oh, Trog, what a save! Project Riptide. I can see it down there. And Devin, of course, is going to grab Project Riptide. And Devin is into the second tier of knockback. Oh, he Project Riptided himself off the stage. Devin's getting mucked up. And we have an arena change. We're switching over to fire now. This first match was proving to be an exciting one, especially when the Earth Arena came out. And just about at 1,000 damage, he's reached Orange Team in just a moment here. Of course, there were only a couple bugs. Oh!
Wait, what happened? Did I go too high?
I think I do have to fix that, probably. I think that's probably too low. Oh, that must have been an item drop. I think that might be a... Oh! After an incredible first match, it was now my turn to take on the Derd, but the competition started to get a little mouthy. You said data pack on my server? No, tick. Trog left. Let's do this.
Avid and Derd taking the warrior class. Derd getting a combo. Avid putting out the block.
I started out with a really commanding lead. Take my farts. Look at how much damage I got you for. Yes.
Holy crap.
Enjoy this. Get out of here. Yes. Yeah. But it was on the water stage that the tides started to turn. I'm stuck in a rock. Jeez. Oh, yes, the chilling rod. Get chilled, nerd. And just like that, I was out.
I didn't know what that was.
Oh, I died.
Oh.
And with Derd's sick burn, he moved on to the finals to face up against Devin. We are at the final match, Devin versus Derd, as they're trying to kill an Enderman.
Where is it?
Right now. The final match begins. Derd versus Devin in 3, 2, 1. Devin's showing his pro gamer moves right now. Did you know, actually, Devin comes from a long line of pro Minecraft PvP players. Oh, and Devin's been pushed into the next image here. Derd almost lost it, and the arena's switching over to the water arena right now. Oh, there goes Derd, splat out of the arena. Woo-hoo! Oh, and phantoms are coming down to cause some issues with our contestants. And now we're back into the Earth arena. Holy cow, folks, and we have some ender pearls on the ground that have yet to be claimed. Ooh, I don't even know if those are useful, let's be honest. Oh, Derd got knocked off again. Devin must be a pro gamer. Oh, he ender pearls behind. That was amazing.
My God.
Are they gonna go to the final tier? The final damage tier. Devin's in it. That means.
Oh no.
No. I mentioned there may be a couple of bugs. Well, Derd got stuck in a rock, which laid the perfect opportunity for Devin. Derd has taken an obscene amount of damage, but is rising out of the stone and is dead immediately.
I knew that was gonna happen.
Yeah, we'll call that a clean victory. Devin takes it, folks. That's it. That's it, folks. Well played. With Devin being claimed the victor, it was now time to get on to the awkward ceremony. Devin, you are the best at this very arbitrary game that probably only 4 people will ever play. Hooray!
This is your game.
But some people just can't handle the pressure of victory.
I'm gonna.
Oh. Well, the guy really knows how to make an exit. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this little 1-episode mini project. I have to say, playing with my friends was probably the highlight of this entire project. Next episode, we are actually going to get back to our adventure map, and I have some amazing ideas planned, so get ready for that. And as always, you are amazing, and I will see you all next time. Hey, Devin, out of curiosity, you remember when we were in Otherside?
No.
What do you mean, no?
What do you mean?
You weren't in Otherside?
Don't make up words.
Oh, all right then. Guys, if that wasn't Devin, who was with me in Otherside?